Ball and James was where it's at for a minute, man.
Right.
For real.
They did have it for a while.
I remember, man, when like Ice Cube was a part, like a really, he was a major hip hop pillar, man. And because that bastard came out with some song talking about St. Ives, we liked the song, we liked Ice Cube, so we started drinking St. Ives.
Oh, I remember for a while there
You
was
know
a
what I
time
mean?
when that's all motherfuckers
St.
would
Ives.
St. Ives because they heard it on this
You
shit.
know what I mean? Wasn't that a
You
beautiful
know,
marketing
Then
strategy?
they went to the Alizé shit.
Wasn't that a beautiful
And
marketing strategy?
hell yeah. And people bought that shit. Like I said,
Tore it
Tyrone
up.
used to work at a liquor store. People come in and, yeah, let me get that Belvedere.
But
And he would ask them, what kind of liquor is that? They wouldn't even know what it was. He said, y'all don't even know what it is, whether it's rum, vodka.
Right.
Y'all just know you heard it with Jay-Z singing it, and that's why you're
now
buying
you're
it.
on it.
You don't even know what it tastes like.
That's
You don't
right.
give a damn.
That's
Yeah,
right.
and he would tell people that shit. And they would, they would still buy it. You're not gonna stop them from buying it. That's for sure.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Thank you all so much for joining us on this Monday afternoon. I'm your host, Brother Ron,
Brother Los.
and we are the Daily Smoke. Thank you so much for joining us
Much
and
love. Much
spending
love.
time with us this Monday afternoon. I hope you
11
guys
o'clock.
had a good day. How was you guys' day, man?
Hit that like. For Monday, I mean, it was all right.
It was all right?
Yeah, it's frustrating, but hey, you got to get through it.
Yeah, it was a hard day, wasn't it?
It's
It was hard.
trying to do things, and I even went in late today. I was like, man, I'm not ready. When I got up, I'm not ready.
Now it's hard, though.
I was like, I'm not ready for this shit right now. And like I said, if it wasn't because I had to do something today,
Right.
and nobody else would have known it, and I could have lost the lady's seat, that would
Right, that'd have been a problem.
So I figured, let me go
That'd
and
have
do
been a
this,
problem.
and so I'll just come in later, get the little rest out. Because
Yeah.
once I'm here, boom, 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 I'm good.
I feel that.
I even still took a lunch. I'm like, I don't give a fuck if I was an hour and a half late to my lunchtime.
feel that.
Out to lunch, took my lunch. I don't care if I lose an hour and a half at the beginning.
I feel
The rest
that.
of the week, I've got overtime. So
Right.
by the time the weekends and
It
I go
worked
to
out,
I'm going to end up with still 80. So
Absolutely.
I may not have
Absolutely.
80 plus, but I'll still get my 80.
Absolutely, man.
I'm gonna take me a quick little break.
Absolutely.
Like shit.
How was your weekend, man?
Weekend was good. We barbecued.
Man,
some bomb-ass
you know that
chicken,
barbecue
some
chicken was some of
burgers.
the best. That is the absolute
The
best
fajitas
barbecue
were good.
chicken ever,
Amy
man.
loved the fajitas.
Fajitas off the
So yeah,
chain.
about that fajita meat
They
came
was
out
off
real
the
good.
chain. I think you didn't have any teeth in your mouth. You still could have ate that fajita.
I know that shit was nice and tender.
You know what I
and it wasn't
mean?
all red either.
For
Like
real-
it was
no, at
cooked.
all.
That shit was
At
cooked.
all. It was
And
done.
it was real nice and tender. And
It was
you gotta
done,
know,
man.
make sure you cut it against the grain, keep it tender.
Man.
That's crazy.
That's how you do it?
Yeah, because if you cut it with the grain, I guess because the fibers go this way, you can't break them. But when you're breaking them already and they're smaller, I don't know what it is, but it got to be that way. That's what I'm saying. Because
I feel you.
if all the fibers go this way, you're gonna cut it this way.
Go against
So
it.
these little pieces are gonna be nice and soft. But if you cut this way, it's like you're going with it, so that stays stuck together. So it's hard to chew through and shit.
Man,
Yeah.
cooking is an art, man.
That's the thing
Real.
about steak and beef, because like I don't like blood, but if you want beef to be the way it's supposed to be, nice and soft, and you can chew it right and everything, you're supposed to eat it, kind of red. I'm like, man, that's what I'm saying. You know what? I'll just make sure I can chew whatever I want.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't want it like where it's where I can do a little line of red.
No.
But I can do a little line of red, but I
No.
can't do, you give me my steak and it's sitting in a puddle of blood. I can't have that shit.
I need all evidence that this thing was alive at some point in time. Gone.
Gone.
You know what I mean?
Here's
That's
the
what
piece
I
of
need.
leather. You want a piece of
Exactly.
leather
Right
here.
there, right? What's
Yeah,
this?
eat
Oh,
that.
okay, cool.
That's what you want.
Yeah,
right
I
there.
don't need
Piece
no
of leather.
reminders of what this is
Right.
at all.
Mm.
Man, did you know that they found out that plants and vegetables, they actually like scream?
Do they?
Like for real.
Oh, that's cool.
The reason I'm bringing it up is because people was making the argument for so long. We need to be vegans or vegetarians. How we treat the animals.
Right?
You know what I mean? And we do treat them very badly, by the way.
Plants, too. We cut them motherfuckers like they ain't shit.
When an animal isn't killed correctly, like it yells.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I remember back in the 90s at Texas Southern, go Texas Southern Tigers forever. I remember when this dude was saying, man, you're a vegetarian. He was talking to this other guy from Africa. He's like, yeah. He said, hey, man, you do realize that every time, like, you cut a leaf or something like that, it screams.
It's like you're cutting the arm
You
off.
know what I mean? Like it screams. It's reacting.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And so the dude, at this time, this long time ago, at this time, people was like, plants
The fuck
screaming.
outta here.
Fuck out of here. Okay, I get the
You
joke.
know.
All right, keep it moving. Yeah. eating, vegetables,
I go with it because you're telling me it's alive.
okay,
From way
man,
back biology, you tell me that this plant is alive like you. Okay.
because it's an ecosystem.
You know,
Absolutely. The earth is alive.
so why not scream?
You know what I mean? But we never had none that could pick it up. Man, they did this experiment where they actually was able to detect like the vibrations that was coming from whatever, like plant or fruit or whatever it was. Once it was severed from its source, like it started doing really weird things.
Oh,
And they were saying like, man, fruit, vegetables scream too. But because their level of consciousness is not on the same as ours or as a pig,
mm-hmm.
them screaming is going to be different.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
So yeah, man, I found that very interesting.
That's
They
crazy.
they say that plants actually scream.
Yeah. Well, I remember they used to say always talk to them. Whenever I had plants, I would talk to them.
That's what they
I
say.
would talk to the plants and say
That's what
classical
they
music
say.
makes them grow better and shit.
That's what they
So I'm
say.
like, that's crazy. So that means I guess they really are alive and they
It gotta
feel
be something to it.
So,
It gotta be
if I'm
something
sitting
to
here
it.
cleaning you and talking to your ass and you just keep
Ooh,
growing
yeah,
and getting
you ugly
better
chick.
and getting better and shit, right? You know?
Man.
Yeah, I know when I saw that Faces of Death way back in the day
Yeah.
when they showed how they kill the cows. They put them in that thing and then they sliced their neck. I was like, man, I would never eat meat if I worked there. I mean, one, I don't think I could work there to begin with.
At all.
But if I had to, I would never eat no meat.
Ever.
At least not no beef.
Ever.
After I done see what I did to these motherfuckers.
Ever.
You know?
See, and that's the thing, Los. You bring up a really good point. That's the thing. Like, a lot of people say we shouldn't eat meat because of the way that we treat them.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hell of an argument.
Right.
And I see your point.
Right.
But if there was a way to do it humanely, would you have the same argument? I don't think you would.
Right. You wouldn't.
I think you're disagreeing with how we're dealing with them versus their value to us surviving.
Right.
You know?
And for me, though, me saying I would never eat no meat, I'm not going to go out there and advocate that people shouldn't eat meat because I know how they kill them. That's just me.
Right.
Because I did this for so long.
Right.
Man, I can't eat now. Fuck
right. You saw that. You know how this goes.
I'm not that motherfucker that's out there hunting and I kill my shit and have it on the pit ready to go.
Can't do it.
I'm good. Now
Can't
fuck
do it.
that. So,
Can't do it.
but I'm not going to tell other people, man, you shouldn't eat meat, man. That's fucked up. They be killing them motherfuckers.
You know,
you killing them plants.
They someone asked me, say, well, why aren't you a vegan? And I'm like, well, because that's a political movement.
Pretty much right now.
If you're asking me if I want to eat differently, yes, I eventually would like to get, this is God's truth, I eventually would like to become a vegetarian because when I was for about 6 months, I felt the best ever in my life. But
I gotta have some meat. Fuck that.
No doubt. Absolutely. No doubt. No doubt. I feel that. And them burgers you did, absolutely. So, but at the same time, like, that's a dietary decision. When you start talking about veganism, you're now talking about like your lifestyle.
Because you can't milk anything that comes from an animal, right? They don't fuck with it at all. If it comes from an animal, we don't want it. That's crazy, man. That's kind of hard.
Even your clothing.
See, that's crazy.
That's how far it goes. So it becomes more of a political stance.
Right. So they don't do silk because it comes from a silkworm.
Oh, good question. I have to find that
You
out.
know
I
what I'm
don't really care. But yeah, yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, you would think that goes to the Roman Empire.
And guess what? Now that plant scream, guess what? Every time I pick that cut, ow, 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 ow,
right,
ow, ow, ow,
right. That's exactly right.
Something from it.
That's exactly right.
It's the same shit as
That's
that.
exactly right,
as that cow doing that. That shit.
That's exactly right.
Besides, silk ain't nothing but worm shit we're wearing.
When they had shown, man, that like plants scream, I remember going, what else are we gonna eat to live?
Right? There's nothing else.
Like nothing.
Right.
In other words, we can't live unless something screams.
Right.
Right? Okay.
What can I kill that to eat?
So then, whether it's a plant that screams or whether it's an animal that screams, you're gonna have that. That's just the nature of life. Because where else are you gonna go? It's a plant. It's a pig. They both gonna scream, but you gotta eat.
Right. So we're gonna kill something. Goddamn.
It's all a part of it, you know.
The thing too with the plant part, screaming. You know how some plants you have to prune them so they grow a certain way.
Oh really?
I wonder if that fucks with them when you cut the bottom leaves so it grows up higher. When you start cutting the top leaves, it goes out this way.
Right.
So does that bother it at the time, or is it?
That's a good question.
Or is it no that I'm screaming now, but this is for my good?
Like you're performing medicine.
Like, this is for my good. As long as they keep taking little things from the bottom, I'll grow higher.
Right.
And once they start cutting me there, I'll grow. I'll turn into this.
I don't think it would know.
From then, right?
I don't think it would know.
I don't think it would know. I just know that, man, these motherfuckers keep fucking with me.
You know what I'm saying?
Always cutting into me
like
and
screaming
shit.
in their own way.
It's like I plan on getting this tall anyways.
You know what I'm saying?
Like shit.
For real.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's
for real.
That's something different, man. Plant scream.
Yeah, something to think about, man. Something to think about.
Or their version of what screaming would be.
True.
And that's all by the energies.
True.
So they know that energy we give, the wavelengths that we scream are somewhat, which are different than our normal, are somewhat different than when the planet's normal. And then all of a sudden that shit changes.
Right. They just notice a change,
change.
And it seems to do that behavior seems to be uniform across, across the animal kingdom. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, what's up, Danessa? What's up, my love? Good to see you.
What's up,
Good
D?
to see you, D.
Good
to see you. Thank you so much for joining us, love.
About to learn what I guess in her case for 54 years.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like
you gotta do this concert though, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna have a good conversation tonight. You can't read. You can't get this from a book.
Not tonight. From what you learned, it's just from straight experience and shit.
Absolutely.
Anyway, pay homage to our peoples. First up, we got Bangin' 832 Radio.
Bangin'.
www.bangin832.com. It's a local Houston website radio station. Make sure y'all check them out. They play past episodes of the Daily Smoke on Sundays at 7 o'clock. Hopefully you've already seen them all, or you could always go back. But to give them, some patronage.
Absolutely.
Go watch a show you missed on there.
Absolutely.
See which one it is. If you missed it, then check that out. But anyways, that's www.bangin832.com.
Bangin'.
And then we got Tamia's Touch of Care Massage Therapy. To get with life, get a massage.
Touch my body.
www.tamiaanderson.com. Make sure y'all check her out. Veteran owned, black owned. She's not only a masseuse, she's also a personal trainer. So make sure y'all check her out. She, like I said, she'll get y'all tightened up and then she'll straight you out. So make sure y'all check her out. She does. She's again personal trainer. And the best part, like I say, she'll come to you. You provide a safe space, and she'll take care of you right there, so you don't feel uncomfortable. So make sure y'all check that out. Again, www.tamiaanderson.com.
Absolutely.
And then we got, I don't know where the damn, oh shit, here.
The Buy Black Marketplace?
Yep, the Buy Black Marketplace.
Absolutely.
At the Shrine of the Black Madonna, 5309 MLK Boulevard here in Houston, Texas. They're calling on vendors, so all vendors, if you want to be a vendor, go to www.thebyblackmarketplace.com and find out what you need to do. And then they also have a contact is Nadia, Nailah at shrinebookstore.com. And she's also a contact that'll get you set up with whatever you want to do while you're there. And again, what you can do is yoga classes. Hell yeah. Yoga classes, African history classes. I do all this is free. It's free and open to the public. Ellie Scents, they got food. You can try a lot of different food. They got, them oils, the scents, the other places, lather and more. That might got something to do with washing your ass. What else? It's lather and more. Lather your ass up. Don't be funky. And it's the first and third Saturday of each month from 12 to 6 p.m. Again, at 5309 MLK Boulevard here in Houston, Texas, the Shrine of the Black Madonna. Make sure y'all check them out.
Absolutely.
They do other shit too, so a whole lot of stuff you can do. Then, and it's a church too, so and it's Puff Passing, CBD and more. 4130 and a half Cavalcade here in Houston, Texas, 77026. Check them out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Yelp at Puff Passett _CBD and more. Some have the underscore, some don't. Try them both. You'll get to them.
I got it. Last but not least, we have the Buy Black Marketplace.
Give the website.
Puff Passett, CBD and more. They're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Yelp. Check him out. Call Tanya Ashley at 713-766-6631. Check her out. She will be in our studios within the next day or so, next week or so. So please support her. Stand to learn a lot from that beautiful, committed entrepreneur. Thank you so much for everything that you are and you do.
Bobby,
Thank you so much,
Bobby,
Tanya.
put that fan on one.
And also, last but not least, we have the dailysmoke.com. THA dailysmoke.com. Check us out every weekday on Monday and Wednesday, where you'll actually be able to see, hey, Anissa, you'll actually be able to see some of the topics that we're going to be covering. And as it stands, we have the schedule out for about maybe another month and a half. So you know exactly what we're going to be talking about. You're going to know exactly who's going to be on our show. God, we keep having the wonderful guests that we're having that we're going to have this Wednesday also.
Scan that barcode.
You know, scan the barcode, man. Like, send us a donation to $TD Smoke. We're not trying to take your money. We're trying to bring you a better product. So if we're doing it for money, trust me, we could have did a lot of different things.
You know what I'm saying?
So please support us, thedailysmoke.com. We really are trying to build something where people will walk away a better person than they arrived.
Come have an experience.
Come have an experience. Hell, we might get on the east side of here. What's up?
You know, right?
For real, man.
Get everybody to come on.
Absolutely.
Do something.
So yeah, man. So check us out with thedailysmoke.com. All right. So thank you so much.
And it all starts this Wednesday. You've got a special guest coming.
Yeah, man. So, I was talking with Captain Howdy yesterday, man. And I was just like, I was in awe. You know what I mean? I was just in awe. And I was like, man, it's a real honor to have you, on our platform and everything. We can't wait to, interview you, Captain Howdy. So thank you so much. God willing, you'll be an inspiration to other people, man. Sure. For real. You was there.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? You was there.
You can, you can learn a lot from what he might have to say.
Absolutely. And speaking of learning a lot, that's one of the things that I thought we would have like a fireside chat about. Rule number 1. This is not about what you went to school and learned. Rule number 2. Be honest. Be honest. Rule number 3.
Ain't no reason to lie anyway.
Regardless of what stage you are in your life, whether it's numerically, let's say you're 25, you're going to have a different perspective from someone at 35. If you're 35, you're going to have a different perspective than someone at 45. 45, you're going to have a different perspective than someone at 55. 55, you're going to have a different perspective than someone at 65. 65, you're going to have someone with a different perspective than 75. Right? And I just thought this would be a very good opportunity. 10 years
extra on each one of those.
You know what I mean? Like, whatever it is, your generational gap is about 10 years.
Right. Once you get to into the 50s, when we look back at the 25s, you don't know shit yet.
You don't see it in the same vein as if you look back on 25 and now you're 35.
Right now.
You know what I mean? Like, you're assessing this totally different. You know what I mean? Yeah. Exactly.
And I got some 75-year-olds telling me, man, you don't know shit.
And I can't lie to you, Los. I am a firm believer that just because you old don't make you wise.
I know.
I've seen some old people that ain't learn a damn thing in life.
I know, right? Right? Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I've learned more from an honest, homeless 18-year-old than a 78-year-old in terms of, like, what is this really all about? What am I going through? What am I dealing with? You know what I'm saying? What is life trying to tell me before I get up out of here? Mm-hmm. I've heard more beautiful words from someone that was 25 versus 75. So it isn't necessarily about age.
Depends on
I think it's the character, the person.
That person at that point in his life, this is what it's taught me.
Right.
This is where I am with that. The more years you go, like I said, as long as you take that in and learn from any mistakes or what you're being taught, then you'll be wiser as you go.
Absolutely.
But if you don't, because there's people that just don't give a fuck.
Absolutely.
They keep doing it because now they're 55, 60 doing the same shit they did back.
That's exactly right.
The same fucking mistakes.
Same
In other words,
thing.
You're not even trying to learn the lesson. You just don't give a fuck. This is how I'm going to do it.
Right.
Even though I fuck up every time I do it, I'm
right.
At some point somebody got to, man, stop fucking up.
I don't think they
but you
still would
don't
get
get
it.
it, you know.
I
Like,
don't think they would still get it.
right,
And
right.
I mean, like the messages, hey Sandy, oh, what's going on, Cassandra? Oh, her son, Caleb,
Uh-huh.
he has a special function coming up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I'll send you the information. We got you, Cassandra. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry I've
we
been
can
late on
hook
that.
that
Yes,
up.
we should have been promoting that
Yeah,
along with the Ness mental health thing coming up.
that's
So we will
and
start
this is
promoting that.
that month again. Isn't April autism month?
Sandy, it's April Autism
I
Month.
think I saw that the other day. Somebody said something, unless it was for a different year, but I thought I saw it just recently.
Because if so, we got to get
No,
Caleb
yeah,
here.
no, that's what I'm saying. So we got to get him back on the show. He could tell us himself about his function.
Wow,
Depends
like
on how
a
fast we
year's
get him.
passed by already.
Sure enough, sure
My
enough.
God. Thank you all so
Yeah.
much for sticking with us as we're going through this. Thank you so
Mhm.
much. My God. But yeah, man. Like I just think
All
okay,
in
got
all,
you. Thank you, love. No doubt, no doubt. But yeah, man,
it is that month. So okay,
it
cool.
is that's what's up. That's what's up. We gotta make that happen. We're gonna make that happen. I gotta change some things
Yeah,
around.
25 Reverend Pimp was macking.
You know what I mean?
You know,
You know what I
that's all
mean?
he knew about life. That's what life taught him.
That's what it
You
was.
know,
That's what it was.
at 25, what was I doing at 25? I already had a child.
At 25?
At 25, I
My
had a child
God.
already because I actually had the one I knew, Diamond. I had her when I turned 21, and then she was born like a week later. And then later, I found out that at 20, I had another daughter, but I didn't find her till like almost 12 years later. You know. And then speaking about that life taught you shit, when I met her 12 years later, I'm thinking she don't know nothing about me. When we talk, I'm like, God damn, Jeans, or something else, boy.
Are you
She,
serious?
I was so nervous. I didn't know what to. I'm like, man, I don't know this little girl. She don't even know me. And then I went ahead and called. Man, we talked for like 3 hours. I was like, man, that's crazy how we think alike. And being where I had nothing to do in your life, but my genes are still in you. I can see them. No, that the reason you think that way is because of my ass. So that was crazy. That taught me in life, like, man, genes don't, like they said, when the apple falls, it stays close by because it's still an apple, even though you're not on the tree.
As a parent, we got you, Sam. We got you. We'll talk to you later this evening, love, or tomorrow morning. We'll talk to you. Man, huh?
It's fucking up.
Man, I remember one of our brothers had said, Ron, man, if you ever have kids, you're gonna see something that's gonna trip you out. And I was like, what? He said, man, what Danny said. It was like, man, when you see your kids, you're gonna see you, but a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
But you're gonna see you. And as a person that's never had children and I don't want any, I always found that fascinating to be able to see you in something else. I think that is so
Oh, I know.
beautiful.
What's tripping me out
That's
now
pretty
is seeing
cool.
seeing someone else in me. Like I
What do
see
you
when I
mean?
look at myself sometimes, these are my lad's legs. These legs look exactly how my
Oh,
dad's
right,
legs
right, right.
look.
You're going that way. Right, right,
These ain't
right.
my legs.
You're looking
At
like your
least not what
daddy.
I remember.
Yeah,
Those are his legs.
yeah,
Certain
yeah.
ways I look certain ways. A picture that I see of myself, I see my dad. Man, it was like, wow. I said, I didn't think about that. And my daughter, one of my daughters, took a picture of her. When I looked at it, it was my grandmother. The look was, that's my grandmother. If I found a picture of her when she was little, it'd be black and white, but that would be the same fucking picture.
When you first learned you was a
Yeah,
father, the very first time, how old were you?
20, 21. I just
21.
turned 21, and then, like I said, a week or so later,
So,
we had Diamond.
so at 21, you found out you was a father.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back on it now, I can tell you exactly what Bobby was doing at 21, what I was doing at 21, and a couple of others. And few of us were parents. But I would like to know if you had to educate a 20-year-old yourself regarding what's about to come once you turn 21, responsible for another life. What have you learned that has made you a better person in that entire process?
No, just the thought of knowing that it's not about me no more.
I'm listening.
So it's like, that's the first thing I say when I saw her come out. I'm like, man, it's not about me no more. I got to take care of that thing. So that gets to me all the time when I think
You're
about it.
good, brother.
But So after that, it's like, okay, there's no manual. I'm just gonna do what I know from what I was grown up, from what I was taught and raised. I'm gonna go with those morals to teach this thing, and that's all I could do.
Bobby, when you
'Cause I
was
didn't know shit.
right,
I didn't know
right,
shit
right.
about being no dad.
Bobby, when you was 21, what were you learning from life at that time? Or no, bad question. What were you experiencing in life at that time? At 21. No problem, brother. At 21 years of age, what were you experiencing? What was life giving you in terms of experiences?
I was learning how to get higher, how to get
Were
drunker,
you?
how to get more pussy,
Were
how to
you
get shit like that. But then this happened.
a
you know,
kid?
and a kid now. So now, but but
That's
but
my
my
question.
thinking at the
That's
time
my
though is
question.
okay.
That's
This
my
person I
question.
am married to this person, so I know how this goes. You marry somebody, you have kids, and you go on from there. That was the thought. So okay, now I have to change from me partying and hanging out and doing all this shit
So
to
you had to
making
grow
sure that
up.
that you have to grow up. But even though that was still like that, I still was able to go do these things.
Right, right,
And,
right,
and still hang out. I just had to be more careful when I went to do these
right,
things. Because it's like I can't get it. Can't get in no fights where I might not come home and shit, or can't do some stupid shit that might get me killed or locked the fuck up or something like
right.
that. So it makes you think differently. But I still was before that. That's what like with Bobby said. What do you do when you're 21? You smoke, get high, and you drink, and you have party. You go to club all the time and chasing women. That's what life was teaching us then. That's all we knew. And now you got a kid, so it's not like I would say. Your life is not going to change. You can still be you. You just got to make sure that it's not just about you have something to take care of. So you got to watch some of the things you do now. You can still do a lot of things. You're still young, hang out, but you got to make sure you can't leave the kid at home by himself for sure. So you got to
Right.
make sure you got somebody to watch your kid at all
God
times
bless
if it's
mothers.
not you. So, and then you go from there, and then but you
God
can
bless
still hang
mothers.
out. Just don't get too stupid. You got to grow up real quick.
My old man used to always tell me, man, you saved my life. And he wasn't telling me that when I was in my teens or early
Mm-hmm.
adulthood. Like this dude would go out of his way at certain times when I was younger and be like, yeah, man, you saved my life or whatever. And I used to always wonder, what the hell is he talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Okay, cool. He's
Mm-hmm.
out there acting a fool. Okay, cool.
And
Now you
once
got
you
a
have a
kid.
kid, at least he
Now
was
you got to
smart
take
enough
care
to
of him.
know, because a lot of them don't give a fuck. They just keep going doing that stupid shit. At least he knew, okay, I got a kid. I got to make sure to do what I got to do. Still do my
I've
shit on
always
the
found that
side.
remarkable.
Yeah. Still do my shit on the side. I'm just not that stupid no more.
When when you like if you look at where you are right now in life, man, and we're not trying to make this shit academic, we're just trying to have an honest conversation and just be honest with yourself. If you're gonna BS, it's just no talk. Man, what have you learned at this stage of your life where you could not have learned this at a younger version of yourself? Can you think of anything like that?
What's that? What's something that from now that
Like you've learned this now, like however old you are right now. There are certain truths and things you've learned from life that resonated with you. It made sense. It's right. It's correct. I get it.
mm-hmm.
What have you learned at that level that if you was 10, 20, 30, 40 years younger, you would not have gotten the lesson because you hadn't matured to that point?
Well, I don't know.
Really?
Probably, I mean, at 21, like I didn't know the lesson of being a dad, but I knew how my family worked, how my dad and mom interacted with us. So I'm just taking from what I saw how they did with us. I want to do this over here. And I mean, I wasn't beat or abused, so I know I'm not going to do this. And I wouldn't even
Right.
think of that. It's like, I had a kid. That's me. That's my future.
Right.
Fuck all that. I'm not doing nothing. And if you try to hurt this thing, I will disintegrate you and be happy about it. Don't fuck with my child, because I got to make sure this child lives more than I do. And all I ask is that you do one step better than me. That's it.
Evolution.
Yeah, that part where we
Evolution.
talked about that. Just as
Absolutely.
long as you do one
Evolution.
step better, and then your kid does
You
one
start
step
going
better, okay, good.
backwards, that's a problem.
Right, don't go backwards and shit. And hopefully I had the means to help them
You
get
know what I
out of that
mean?
shit. But still, yeah, that's crazy.
if
Yeah,
you if you're watching this show right now, and you find what we're talking about interesting, which I hope you do, give us a call. Call us. The numbers at the bottom of your screen. Give us a call and tell us what were your experiences in life that whatever stage you're at right now, however old you are right now, I'm only asking, what have you learned at this point in your life that had you been younger, you probably would not have been receptive to the information? The reason I know there's something, you're just not identifying it because you're here to talk about it.
Right.
So there's something you've learned.
Right.
You're just not thinking about
You
it.
know what? How to deal with women back at 10, 11, 12. You don't know none of that shit. It's just little girls. But
Okay.
now, as you've gone through relationships and shit,
Hmm.
and you kept going, what I learned in my 20s, what I learned in my 30s, and what I learned in my 40s, to where I'm at now, it's like, I got y'all cornered. I know every trick y'all try to do. This ain't getting none past me. Shit. I done learned it all. I've been there, done that. And there was times in my life where most of my friends were just women. That's how I hang out with.
Hmm.
Man, I used to sit back like, man, I ain't date no girls do shit like that. Man, they talk just like we do and shit, except it's the opposite.
Hmm.
Like, man, I was surprised at some of the shit they would talk about. Like, man, y'all teaching me a lot about how women are, boy. And that's something I would never get back. Dudes used to think that I was dating all of them. Like, man, they're my friends, man. I'm just learning how they are, and they're so different that I got a lot of different personalities. But in all reality, there's about a million motherfuckers that like her, and a million motherfuckers like her. Because even though we're different somewhat mentally, we're all the fucking same. We do the same type of shit. Depending on where you're from, though, you have to think differently. For us, we can pretty much do whatever the fuck we want. Other places, you can't do whatever the fuck you want. In some places, you can't even say what the fuck you want. So you have to think differently in that part.
If you've ever had this experience, call into the show and tell
Right?
us
Sure
about it.
enough.
Or if you've had this
281
experience,
968 1029.
or if you've had this experience and you're a part of the platform, we'd love to hear about your experience. Here's what I'm asking. Thank you, bro. At some point in time, and I'm gonna think in terms of worst case scenario. Your mom passed, your dad passed, and let's say like you was really close to her. And they would always tell you things like, hey, don't do X or don't do Y or don't do Z or whatever. And at the time they're telling you that, you're like, yeah, okay, whatever. It's, I ain't worried about that and all that kind of stuff. And then some time passes and they're no longer on the scene. And there's a lesson that will come to your mind, a situation that will come to your mind, a predicament that you find yourself in that will come to your mind when you'll go, man, mama told me or dad told me about this kind of situation. Why didn't I listen to them? Everyone on some level has had that conversation. And that is the part that I'm asking. Like, there is something you learned, God willing, you had parents who didn't, I'm so sorry, but if you had someone close to you that was paving the way for you, they told you a lesson you were not receptive to.
You know what? The one I told you the other day about my dad telling us, yo, man, you and your boys in that ride, y'all gonna get stopped just because of the way you look. Back then, whatever, pops, we're still riding, getting high, froze and cornrows and shit, and he knew, these white motherfuckers don't like that shit. So when they see that, they automatically think they're doing something bad. So they're gonna pull you over, man. And back then, whatever, pops. Then as I grew older, I'm seeing this shit play out. It's
Now,
like now you see, like, damn, Pops knew this shit way back. It's just now we really see it. Except now, what Pops didn't think when he was telling me was that you're gonna get killed. Now motherfuckers are getting killed. For that shit
so
that Pops said, you act a fool, they're gonna stop you and get you, man.
this is the part where
Like shit.
this is the part where the people that came before us, we get to see their wisdom.
Right.
Oh, somebody
We got
called us.
somebody? Vanessa?
Vanessa, that's what's up. What's up, Vanessa? Hit us up. Thank you.
What's up, Lady
What's happening,
D?
love? What's going on with you?
What's up?
Can't
What's
call it.
up?
Can't call it.
Thank you for calling.
Yeah, I seem like y'all needed somebody to
Are we good?
So, at 54, getting ready to turn 55 in 6 months, there's so many things I've learned, but the one that resonates with me right now is that a person who has a dream does not necessarily have vision. And that was a hard lesson to learn. And when I was younger, I would not have been receptive to that. I wouldn't have even understood what that meant when I was younger. But now, yeah, I can clearly explain it.
Right.
Just because a person has dreams does not mean they have vision.
Right.
And
I've met a lot of
you look
people that way.
yourself dealing with a dreamer who has no vision. Because vision requires plan, and vision requires effort. Vision requires being able to go the extra mile. Dreams are just that. They just pie in the sky fantasies for
La
some
La
people.
Land.
Yeah, it's pie in the sky fantasies for some people. And if you're a visionary, you're wasting your time with dreamers. They're not ready to cross over. Some people don't have the mental and emotional capacity for the life they say they want.
That's
So
true.
they're just dreamers.
That's true.
They believe them dreams so much they think they live in that life.
Well, they don't even think they live in it, Lowe's. They too scared to get it. So if life presents itself, they don't sabotage.
Exactly.
Right.
It's easier to dream than to actually go after it and to work for it. So I've seen people who the thing that they say they want can be right in front of them, and they deliberately will mess it up
It will set
because they don't
something
believe it's going to happen. Then what do they do? You have to accept the responsibilities that come with it,
That's what's
and
up.
they're not ready for that. So everybody don't have the mental and emotional capacity for the things they say they want, because you move differently when you do.
True.
Vanessa, I don't know about
Yeah.
you. I don't know about you and people that's watching. I can only speak for me. The times that I miss the most from people that are no longer in my life right now is when I finally grasp what they was trying to tell me 20 years ago, 10 years ago. And when you finally learn that lesson, they say something that just, you heard something different and you may not have acted on it or believed it, but at some point down the line, what they was trying to tell you, you go, oh man, don't try to tell me that.
I know, right? Sometimes it's too late.
The reason why that is so important, and I keep harping on that, is because you're just now getting what they had already been trying to tell you.
Right. 20 years ago. Shit.
But you were not in a space where you could much less accept it. You couldn't even really understand it.
Right.
But it took life to teach you certain successive lessons. So now that you could be receptive to what your parents or friend or whoever was trying to tell you 20 years ago.
Right.
That's what makes me miss the elders from my life or the people I can learn from.
Right.
Because that's how far in time ahead they were from us. Have you ever had an experience like that, Danessa?
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, all the time.
What way?
All the time.
What specifically?
My grandmother tried to teach me so much. You know, that whole phrase about don't take no wood nickels. I had one of those grandmothers that always said, don't take no wood nickels. And a lot of times she would say stuff that didn't make no sense to me. But I get it now what she meant by wood nickels. It's basically just what I just said. You know, somebody, that shit don't spin. So, like, you know, somebody telling you a bunch of stuff they dream, what they want, what they gonna do, and all of this stuff. But there's no evidence that you're gonna be able to cash in on that. That's a wood nickel. So she used to always say things like that, like don't take no wood nickel. You know, if it don't look like it's something that's gonna manifest itself, don't be bothered with it. Watch out for what's fake. Watch out for what's not real. Because it looks good don't mean it is.
Right.
But it took you time to learn that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it did. Exactly. It did. And I look back on certain experiences and I get angry and frustrated because it was like, it's time wasted that I can't get back.
Yeah, but you had to learn.
Right. I don't ever consider
and that's the time it took for you to learn.
That's what I had to do.
That's
what I did.
That's why it's never a reason to regret anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, and I'm not saying you are, I'm not putting words in your mouth. But there's
No, I have a lot of regrets. I ain't gonna bullshit.
Okay, no doubt.
And I think sometimes we have legitimate regrets in life. We do have legitimate regrets in life. I think that what we owe it to is to tell the truth about those regrets so that somebody else may or may not make those mistakes. Like, I'm transparent about my story all the time, because if I can save somebody else from doing some of it, then hey, learn from me. You ain't got to go through the shit I went through.
Hey,
I'm gonna
Vanessa,
tell you the truth.
people
Raw
have
and uncut.
people. There are some people in life that have intellectual disabilities. Correct. Okay, cool.
Yep.
And let's just say whatever it is, you want this child here to learn how to get on this tricycle and ride it. Depending on the type of impairment, the level of impairment, the individual with the intellectual deficit, it's going to take them longer to be able to coordinate their body in a way where they're able to ride this bicycle versus other kids. They learn how to ride a bicycle at a certain age, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Here's my whole point. I am not going to punish or think any lesser of the kid that took him longer because he has a learning deficiency versus someone that learned how to get on the bike like most people at a certain age and they was able to ride the bike with no problem. It's for that very reason why I don't have regrets, because that's just the time it took for you to learn the lesson.
Right.
That's all it is. Whenever we start talking about,
you weren't ready for it.
You just weren't ready. You were not prepared.
Right.
You weren't receptive to it. Does that make sense, love?
I think you said it doesn't change for me though. I think there's some lessons that were unnecessary lessons because the foundation was there to do differently. And that's just my story. That's just me telling the truth. Like, that's just me. Like, there's some trials I didn't have to go through. And so I'm transparent about those with my kids, nieces, nephews, friends, co-workers, everything. Like, I tell them the truth. They don't have to go through that.
That's what's up, love. That's what's up. And by the way, Vanessa, we're so happy to have you a part of us. Thank you so much, love, for all your support.
Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you so much.
Let somebody else get in here.
Thank you, love. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
See you later. Bye.
Thank you.
Speaking of Vanessa, make sure y'all check out this Thursday.
Absolutely.
Talk About It Thursday with Lady D, the happiest hour. Make sure y'all check this one. This is a good one too. So see, they even got Brother Black Hands.
I was about to say Black Hands on the camera, huh?
It's on there and talk. So you guys don't want to miss that. Make sure y'all check that out.
That's what's up. That's what's up. You know what's interesting, man? Like, this is, like one thing you gotta love about Vanessa. She's always transparent. And she's 100.
Mm-hmm.
She's 100. And I think most of us on this show are.
Right. There's no reason to be.
That's why
there's no reason to make shit up.
Man, if I'm really honest about something, I have lived my life this way only to come to the same conclusion that people that didn't live their life this way ultimately ended up. This is the truth, Los. They said, hey man, before you go and have a family, make sure you get a college diploma. You need an education. That's what they said.
Mm-hmm.
You heard it too in your life. I don't care who you are. Even if you're a female, hey, don't have no kids.
At minimum, graduate high school.
You know what I mean? Don't make sure you get a diploma because, baby, you have a kid. It's gonna be hard to do all that if you can. And the way they positioned it to us was, you got pregnant. Anything you want to achieve in life is over.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the way they sold it to us. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying it's right, but that's how it was sold. Man, they said, hey man, go to college and make sure that, you get a degree so that you can be this person. No problem. And I did it. Then they said, hey man, you don't want to have no kids until you've seen the world. Okay, cool. I did it. Then they say, hey man, you know what? To be a good citizen in America, you need to serve your country. Boom. I did it. You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is my life. I can't speak for nobody else. I'm talking about my life and the playbook that I went by.
Right.
So I can't speak for nobody else, and I really don't give a damn. This is what happened.
You figured if this is what you're supposed to do to be successful, then I better do these things.
This is what I'm supposed to do. Hey, man, you know what? You're a smart person. Go ahead and go for your master's degree, because if you do anything, you go to work, back to work, or you have kids or family, whatever, that's going to take you away from being able to go and get your master's degree.
Right.
I did it. Then they say, okay, well, cool. After you have this or whatever, X, Y, and Z, and before you get married, you need to do, whatever financially or do this, whatever. Okay. Damn near did it.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Getting there.
You know what I mean? Getting there.
did.
Damn near did it.
You know?
And if a person is measuring, at least I can only speak for me, my life, in terms of the amount of pain we were able to avoid, no problem. Because I've seen people that made different decisions, and I've seen where they are in life, and thank God I didn't make those decisions. For me,
Right.
thank God I didn't make those decisions. But they sell that prescription on the basis as if you do all of this, and I believe I saw my Aunt Easter say, hey, there is no happily ever after you get, you get married. Like when I saw that, it triggered what I'm about to say now. Like I followed the playbook. And to be honest, man, I've noticed people that went through the struggle that they was trying to get me to avoid to be in a much happier place.
Right.
I'm being very
Is
honest.
that because you think they learned different lessons? They had to have learned different lessons.
I think what it is, man, and I hope that makes sense. What I think is, I wouldn't trade nothing I did in my life, because I think the route that I personally took. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Dwight. I think the route that I personally took, I think that got rid of a lot of headaches that I probably would have to deal with for the rest of my life. And that's just not kids. That could be education. It could be anything you didn't fully fulfill what you could have done. That's all I'm talking about. You know what I mean? I think it took care of that. But I think the expense that it came at was the life is over here.
Right. Yeah, but you did it how I always tell these young
Life
kids.
is over here.
Get all that shit out the way sooner, because you might be a kid till you're 21, but you're gonna be an adult till you're like 80. That's a big difference. That's 20 versus fucking 60.
I feel
You know,
there is a okay.
Get
So
this shit out the way now.
So let's say this. Okay, so there is a plan. I agree. You're absolutely
Right.
100%. I neglected
There's a
that. You're
plan.
right. You're right. There is a certain plan or prescription that you should follow, where by the time your body starts breaking down, you shouldn't be dependent on your body to make money.
Right.
You shouldn't be dependent on your body to make money
Right.
at the age that your body's breaking down.
Right.
That's a bad prescription.
Yeah, shit, manual
Because
labor.
time is kicking you in the butt.
That's why I got out of what I was doing when I was 30. I
Your
already
hands
knew that.
was dirty.
My hands always dirty. I'm feeling tired. I'm like, I need to do something better. What can I do? Go learn how to do something different. And I went and became a travel agent.
See,
and
and you weren't sold the same prescription that I was, but we ended up almost at the same destination.
Right.
You know?
Because I knew the plan, but I was trying to go a different route.
Yeah, man.
I wasn't,
for real.
I wasn't trying to do that route. I was done. I was like, I'm going to do this the way I can, until it got to a point where I realized, damn, had I followed the plan at this point in my life, I may not be trying to do what I'm getting ready to do, because I already have it, but I'm trying to get it now.
Yeah.
But I'm still, my thought at the time was, you know what, fuck it, I'm 30, I'm getting ready to go back to school. You know what? Doctors don't become doctors till they're 30.
True.
So if you're going to be from a kid to become a doctor, you're not going to be your own doctor with your own shit until at least 30 years old.
True.
That's
very true.
You got to go.
Don't be no neurosurgeon.
Right. You might have to go even further. So
70 years old, out of grad school.
So that's how I saw it. So it didn't make me, because I remember the first time going to class, I'm like, man, I'm going to be the only old motherfucker up in this bitch. When I went in, there was a whole bunch of people just like me, my age, and they're trying to better their lives.
Because the economy was going that way too. Really, you know what I mean?
Like, hey, let's do this. So that was before 9/11 too.
Absolutely.
But I knew that I had to do something. So I didn't go the school route, but I don't take that away from anybody. The same way, like with the military too.
Oh God.
I don't disregard that to anybody, because like this can get you to where.
Absolutely.
I mean, right now you ain't doing shit but getting in trouble with your boys. Go learn how to be disciplined.
Absolutely.
Go support your country for one. And when you come back, guess what? Because you did that, I'm going to give you a job.
Right.
I don't give a fuck what you do.
You got a leg up.
You're a veteran? Come on. I got you, man. I'll teach you what you got to do, because I know you're teachable.
Yeah.
So, know. So and plus, you're a soldier. You're gonna protect my shit.
It's just networking at a higher level.
Yeah,
it's
that's
no
all.
different if you became an Alpha, an Omega, or a Delta, whatever.
Mhm.
Like it's all whether you was in the military, whether you was in the Masons. It's
Mhm.
just networking. At the end of the day, that's really what it is.
Trying
It's
to run into the
networking.
right people to get you in the right spots.
Man,
So,
you know what I've really learned in life? I really mean this, and I believe this so deeply. I would have this inscribed on my tombstone. This is how real I really believe this. Man, I looked at my own life. I looked at the decisions that I made and the things, the rewards I was able to get and the headaches. And then I looked at other people's lives and I came to a conclusion. And I don't think I ever could have come to this conclusion, let's say maybe 15 years prior and beyond. You know, sometimes we'll feel bad about ourselves based on what people saying we should do.
Mm-hmm.
I let my whoever down. I'm not living my fullest potential. Whatever the case may be. And you may not be. You may not be.
Right.
But the one thing that helped me really get through times of uncertainty in terms of what I thought about myself,
Mm-hmm.
I came to a realization. Ron, everybody on this planet, as far as we know, you only get one time around.
That's right.
Okay. You only get one time around. In that one time, the average age of most of the people that's in this species across the planet, depending on where you were raised, what country you live in, the quality of life and all that, it's going to change. But on the most part, you don't really hear of a lot of 110-year-old humans.
Very rare.
It's very rare.
I mean, it's getting more and more now than it used to be.
Sure.
But back in the day when you heard it was 100.
That
What?
was an
100?
extenuating circumstance.
Yeah, it's like, God damn.
Even to this day, with all of our
Even
medicine.
today, it's still you.
That's still an
120,
extenuating circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay.
Right.
All right. So when I said, man, most people, at least as far as I can see, y'all, we died 80, we died, good luck, God willing, you make it to 90. But we mostly died 80, 70, that kind of stuff. All right. So you have only 80 years of life to learn everything that you know. And then it hit me like a bolt of lightning, Los. It is good to listen to people that have walked the path before you. That would be wise.
Yeah, of course.
But at the end of the day, don't none of us really know any more than the next.
Right. We're going to end up in the same
Like,
spot.
even if you disagree with me, just think about it. Most of us going through life, the lessons we've learned, and they're very valuable lessons. But in terms of standing on an authority, like this person said this is what I should do. Different, this person said that, I should do that, or whatever. Life is going to throw you so many different options and different circumstances where if you follow their recommendation verbatim, you probably wouldn't reach the target or the objective you're trying to get to.
Right.
Because everything that they're offering you worked for them.
Right.
But time keeps moving.
Right.
So they're doing their best to give you some information that you can take forward with you.
Right.
But hell, now you have to deal with what about the things they can't account for, like only I could relate to. How am I going to manage that with what they said or what I should do or whatever? And I was like, we have no idea what we're doing.
Right. Now you just do what you got to do and keep going.
A best guess hunch, at best.
I know I've made bad decisions.
But we really don't know.
I don't regret fucking nothing I've done. I don't give a damn. There's stuff that I should regret, but I don't.
You shouldn't.
And I never go back to change shit. No,
because
if I do, when I come back here, guess what? I'm not the same person anymore.
No, of course
Everything
not.
I've done is taking me to where I am, who I am right now. Is all the bullshit I've done in my life, and all the good, all the happiness, all the sadness, all the crazy shit. All that made me me.
Absolutely. That's I want to make sure I'm not crossing any boundaries. That's why when I was in a conversation recently, I was like, man, I have no regrets. Right? Because the moment you change anything in the timeline, you've just fundamentally changed you.
Right. I'm not trying to change.
That's what I was trying to tell Vanessa earlier. Right. Not that you're dumb, Not that you're unmotivated.
Right.
Not that you aren't a wise individual. I'm only saying the data said, this is the data. How long it took you to learn a lesson? This many years?
Right.
That's what you needed to learn the lesson.
That's how long it was supposed to be.
That's how long it was supposed to be.
You're supposed to go.
Well,
this
what
long
makes you say
before
that? Because that's what the time is.
Because you didn't learn it any earlier.
If it was 10 minutes sooner, you know what I'd have been like? That's what the lesson was,
Right.
just 10 minutes sooner.
The most important thing is that you learned that, motherfucker.
That's the important part.
That you learned that.
That's the important
You know,
part.
it took
Absolutely.
you 20 years to learn it, but now you know it, and you still might have another 50 to go.
Absolutely.
So now you know not to fuck around with that one no more.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, shit, that's crazy.
I just thought we'd just have a conversation about it, man.
That's all. You know, hey, what has it taught you? You know, it taught Danny how not to be a pimp daddy no more.
Danny gonna be on in the middle of May, man. I already got it.
Yeah, he coming back. Yeah, okay.
Yes, Lord.
Yeah, we got
And Vanessa, I know Veronica, she wasn't with us, but I think she was gonna take a chance to look at it maybe another week or so.
She wants to do talk about it Thursday.
Talk about it Thursday. We really wanted her opinion, and we really have been waiting to hear your opinion on the last episode we did with Danny and the one before that, because we're gonna have a major discussion coming up soon. We would love for you to be a part of it as well.
Part of that. Make sure y'all get up on them. You see how the studio audience did them.
Exactly.
They got loud.
But he stood his ground. You gotta love it.
That's right.
It was out there, but he stood his ground. That's all we can ask. That's all we can ask. That's all we can ask. Absolutely, love. Absolutely.
Time wasted. See,
Absolutely.
I don't consider any time that I wasted.
It's perspective.
You know, even the time I had to do, that's not wasted time. I learned more shit.
Some people just approach it from a different perspective.
Right.
You know, and that's cool. We respect it.
That's what I always say. You know, it's not a waste of time. You learn something from that.
Absolutely.
That's what I told my daughter before she got married. Her and her fiance were going through some shit. She just kept saying, "Damn, Dad, I don't know. That was like a waste of time. That's 15 years wasted." I said, "No, it's not. It's not. You can't see it that way because one, you were doing what you wanted to do.
Exactly.
So you didn't waste your time then. So don't call it a waste of time now. Hopefully you learn from this shit and be able to move forward. You know, so don't call it a waste of time because that's what you wanted to fucking do. If it was a waste of time, I wouldn't have did that shit. You know what I'm saying? If I knew it was a waste of time, what the fuck am I gonna fuck around with this shit? You know, so
Exactly.
but I did it. It didn't work out. Exactly. Oh well, it didn't work out. I didn't waste my time, you know. Exactly. It makes you want to feel that way, like, man, all this time and for this shit, fuck all that. You get mad, but when you really think about it, it's like, yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
You know what I mean? That's what. Hey, man, not all of your consequences and results may not be the most informative. Like you jump off the building, you're gonna hit that cement. That's done. You're done. There's nothing to learn from
you
the
should
situation.
learn that
there's nothing else to learn. You're done. That was your final lesson. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you know, there are some other things to Nessa's point. There's some other things that I think they were able to show us in our lives had we made different decisions. We would not have put as much emphasis on in terms of energy expenditure, you know, the time wasted on whatever it was we were focused on. I think we would have saved a lot of time and energy. I agree.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah.
But if you're saying that, you know, if you learned what you learned in the space and time and amount of resources you had to use to learn that lesson, because that's what it took,
right,
then I personally would just be more grateful for it. Right. Because how many times in your own life have you seen them learning that lesson? The exception was they was 80 years old.
Right.
That's an expensive lesson that you about to have. You about to have a very expensive lesson.
And you better hope it's not a fucked up lesson.
You know what I mean?
You learned back when you were 50.
You're about to learn a really hard lesson. So, you know, but again, it is what it is. But yeah, man, it's 8:00, man. We need to go and get up out of here. Thank y'all so much for joining us.
Thank you for calling. Don't forget, watch Talk About It this Thursday with Lady B.
Yes, my love.
Join us Wednesday for
Captain Howdy, man. Captain Howdy going to be overcoming addiction.
How to overcome addiction. So you might want to check that out. And like I said, you may not have an addiction, but just about every one of us knows someone who did.
I got addiction.
Are going through it. You know, shit like
we
that.
Just hide it,
that's all it is.
But we still the same dirty thing.
You know.
Don't lie.
But anyway, thank y'all for joining us. Much love for your support as always. I'm Brother Los.
I'm Brother Ron.
Brother Blackhand on the cam back there. As always, we're the Daily Smoke, and we're out.
Peace. Thank you.